start listening more about the concerns of everyday Americans who feel like this system is failing
When Reagan
them.
won, I remember the whole map was red.
Yeah.
It was pretty red last night.
I don't know. I'm profoundly disturbed. I think if you look at the New York Times this morning, the headline was America makes a perilous choice. I think that in 2016, we didn't know what we would get from a Trump administration, but we know now. And we know now that he will have almost unfettered power. And so I worry, not about myself, actually. I don't worry about my station in life. I worry about the working class. I worry about my mother, a retired teacher. I worry about our elderly and their Social Security and their Medicare. I worry about my children's future, especially my daughter, who now has less rights than I have. And I remember my father telling me many, many years ago that I was the first person in his family to enjoy full civil rights. And now I have less civil rights than I had when he told me that. So
somebody help me to understand, and maybe I'm a little bit off, okay, because I am a C student, so I'm slower than the average Joe. But somebody give me a little bit of insight and help me to understand, what rights am I missing all of a sudden as a black man? Just curious. What civil rights am I missing? And I'm assuming that I was supposed to be missing these same civil rights in 2016, 17, 18, whatever. What civil rights are we missing? I'm just asking. I was still able to vote to determine who was. You got to give me a little bit of, look, because look, these tears that I see from these people acting like the world just ended is wild. We literally dragging y'all across the finish line so that we can get back to the money and get the bag. What civil right? Let me let her cook. I got to let her cook.
again, I'm profoundly disturbed that the 14th Amendment of the Constitution did not prevent someone who participated in an insurrection from becoming president of the United States.
It's called election interference.
I think that going forward, the convicted felon box on employment applications better be taken off, because if you can be the president of the United States, then you should not be prevented from employment in this country, because I remember applying for my jobs as a federal prosecutor, and there was a box for convicted felons.
Well,
and so that box better be taken off. And I think our healthcare system is now at risk. I think
no fluoride for anyone.
Yeah, economists have made clear that he's going to increase the debt by $7.75 trillion. I'm worried about mass deportation and internment camps, and I'm also worried about Elon Musk warning Americans to prepare.
Are y'all hearing this? Are y'all hearing these fear mongers? Did she just not say internment camps? Oh my God. Seriously, bro, honestly, these women, and I think that The View is a representation of them, these women are absolutely positively insufferable. Like, insufferable, 100%. It is the most laughable, enjoying entertainment that I've ever experienced in my entire life. This woman just said, I'm worried about internment camps. Where? Hoppo. Where? Where they building them at? Where they sending them? Who gonna go in there? Let her cook. Let her cook.
For temporary hardship. I'm surprised at the result, but I'm not surprised. As a woman of color, I was so hopeful that a mixed race woman married to a Jewish guy could be elected president of this country. Mm-hmm. And I think that it had nothing to do with policy. I think this was a referendum of cultural resentment in this country.
Well, I think it, you know, I'm
Look at these privileged women up here that has no restrictions on how they live their life, and they get up here and say some of the most vile things ever about people, and they jump on national TV and they say the things that they saying, especially about Trump, and they sitting here talking about they worried about their civil liberties. Get the hell out of here, man.
I think it has to do with a lot of things, that being one of them. I'm obviously very disappointed. I'm very sad. I was at the Kamala Harris headquarters, yesterday in Washington, and it was a very sad scene. The mood turned immediately, and I tell you, there's a quote I get a lot of inspiration from, and it's a quote that I read when I was reading about John F. Kennedy, and it says,
She pulled up to the Kamala.
"Whether
Kamala
I am
Harris
on the winning
campaign.
or the losing side is not the point with me. It is being on the side where my sympathies lie that matters." And that, to me, brought me consolation and inspiration this morning, because I have no regrets.
Yep.
I worked hard as hell to elect the first Black Asian woman president.
We're not having
History slipped through our fingers again. I worked hard.
Well, listen. History did not slip through your fingers. It was a landslide. He won the popular vote, and he won every single battleground state. It's not history slipping through your fingers. At some point, y'all gonna have to realize that we're not interested in getting incompetent, unqualified DEI picks, because Hillary Clinton even was having a conversation about her because Bill Clinton got head in the White House. So they tried to push her on us, and they pushed Kamala Harris on us because she didn't even have to debate her way out of a primary. And when she had the opportunity to do so, Tulsi Gabbard smacked that A. And so now we sitting here talking about it slipping through your fingers. We don't want it. The only reason that I believe that she didn't come out and make a concession speech yesterday is A, because she a poor loser, and B, because she was probably crying tears. Meanwhile, we trying to put her in, to sit her in front of Netanyahu and Vladimir Putin and Xi Jinping. You know what I'm saying? So, no, we not having that. We not doing it. We off that. Listen, take your L like you always do. Stop. Actually, I like for y'all to keep whining, because it's great to look at this and to react to it and have a conversation to help y'all to understand why the majority of America painted the country red. Read the room. At some point, y'all need to read the room. The whole country was red, except for some of these Democratic hellholes. The whole country was red. Even outside of Chicago, all around Chicago, except for Chicago, where they basically ruined the entire city, is red. The whole Illinois, except for Chicago, was red. Read the room.
Hard as hell for Donald Trump not to be president. But today, unlike Donald Trump and his followers, I acknowledge that he won. I hope for the best for our country.
He had to win 3 times.
And I make a commitment to our LGBTQ, to our immigrants, to our elderly, to our young girls, to the women, that we will not stop fighting. We can be sad today.
Good.
Today,
keep fighting. You're going to lose. You're going to lose 10 times out of 10, because
we
we're
have
going to keep doing
every
what we
right
do
as
too.
Americans, because we love this country, because this is the most exceptional country in the world. We have the right and the duty to speak up and denounce abuses of power, to be vigilant.
Keep
and so I
giving us
invite
these
all
DEI
Americans
hires and
to
see
do
what we
it.
do with them.
But we are
Bring
doing
them
what
up,
they
we're
didn't
gonna knock
do.
them down.
We are recognizing they won. Now let's see what happens when he is governing.
So, you look. We said to people, vote. We didn't tell people who to vote for.
Right.
Yeah.
We just said,
Oh, you got this woman that's just sitting up there. She just told you, man, if this ain't the most disingenuous group of people that I've ever met in my entire life, she just told you that she did everything in her God-given power to try not to get Trump elected. And you know what the worst part about it is? Some of these women up here, and Trump told it, he said it during the Joe Rogan podcast. He said, some of these women used to love me. He said that they were some of my friends until I decided that I wanted to run for president of the United States of America. How was y'all friends? And then y'all flip. And so she gonna sit here and say out of her mouth that they didn't tell people how to vote. They just told people to vote. Man, get the hell out of here, bro. This is comical. Boy, these people are sore losers like I've never seen before in my entire life. Just take your L. Just say, yo, we was wrong. We might need to get on board. We need to rethink what our priorities are. Maybe we got it all off. We wrong. That's all you need to say.
go out. Well, yes, but I
call
did
it
not.
out.
Yeah, I did.
Because I wanted to make sure people exercise that right. Too many people that I know died trying to vote.
Yeah, right.
Okay? So we start with that. And think about this. She did this in 2 months.
I know.
She did this in 2 months.
She left it all on the
You
field.
know,
Yes, she
look,
did.
she, you know,
a
everybody
flawless campaign.
can always say, oh, she should have done this, she should have done this, she did what she did. She was everywhere. She talked to everybody, and people didn't come out. I don't know why, and it doesn't even matter. He's now the president. I'm still not going to say his name.
It don't matter. It don't even matter. We don't care if you say his name. We never was rolling with Kamala. We was never looking at her as the mamala in charge. I don't care what y'all say. We don't need your acknowledgement. We just gonna drink your tears of pain. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. Also, Teach Henley, 40% off your first order plus 20% off for life. And come and kick it with me, Time Dog. December 14th, Detroit. We're going to have a show. It's going to be awesome. I might bring some of my friends, and it's going to be absolutely lit. I'm curious as to what y'all think about these women whining about the fact that we went 4-5, 4-7, and that we back in power and we painted the whole country red. I love you. I appreciate you. Let me know what y'all think inside of the comments. Peace.